What's going on, everyone? On the screen here, I have a tier list of possible 2024 candidates for the Republican Party in the year 2024. I am making this tier list on January 7th, 2022, so about 2 years before the next presidential election, general election cycle, and probably about I think it's like 10 months till the next. Making sure to no, about 11 months or so from the midterms. So I think based on how the midterms go will kind of affect the chances of if these candidates run, the likelihood in which they are successful. Now, some of these candidates I don't expect to run. That's what something to kind of leave them out of the tier list. I mean, they're up here, but I'm not going to put them on the tier list. So we're going to go ahead and start with Senator Ted Cruz from the state of Texas. Now, in the past, I have believed that he usually has performed pretty well in presidential debates. He was the final contender in 2016 against President Donald Trump, and he came very close to becoming the presidential nominee. Now, considering his opponent would have been Hillary Clinton, I do believe he would have won the presidency had Trump not gotten the nomination. However, since then, there's been a couple things I want to discuss quickly. His most recent controversy, he went on Tucker Carlson, Fox News, and the most recent controversy was labeling the event of January 6th like a terrorist attack or whatever. I could play the clip here on, not on Twitter, excuse me, but here real quick um, of that interview. However, I don't believe that's going to hurt his chances all that much, but depending on how the midterms go, it may indeed affect his chances. So the factors here is going to be based on whether or not the chance of them running, if they run, the likelihood of they'll be successful. I'm going to have to probably place Ted Cruz at C tier. Um, and a big part of it is because of this next candidate we're going to talk about. Probably has the best shot at winning the general election of 2024. So the next candidate we will talk about is President Donald Trump, 45th president of the United States. And the likelihood of him running, I believe, is almost guaranteed. Now, do I see him winning if Biden goes or runs for re-election? I do see him running, and I'm gonna make another video on why I see him running and why I believe he will be successful and why I think he has a pretty good shot at being the president of the United States. So, because of his massive fan base and everything going for him, I'm gonna go ahead and place him at S tier. Because you've seen, if you've been following his rallies and kind of how he runs campaigns and events, he's very dominant and successful in that environment. So the next candidate we're going to talk about is Christie Gnome, who I believe is the senator from South Dakota. Now, I don't know a lot about Christie Gnome, but I don't believe she's going to run for president, mainly because I know she's more or less well liked in South Dakota. She's had some controversy just in things of that she's said that didn't sit well with the general public. However, I do believe that she's going to run. I think she's running for re-election in South Dakota in the 2022 midterm. So because of that, I don't think she's going to run. So I'm going to go ahead and place it in D tier, not because I don't think she wouldn't be successful, but because I don't think she will run. Next up, we have Marco Rubio, senator. I think he's a senator from Florida. Senator representative. I think he's a senator. He ran the 2016 presidential cycle. Do I see him running? Yes, I do see him running. Do I think he'll be successful? Kind of like Ted Cruz here. I'm actually going to go ahead and put Ted Cruz up at B tier, Marco Rubio at C tier because Ted Cruz was the final possible nominee before Donald Trump. It was him and Donald Trump. So I think, and the Marco Rubio dropped out earlier in the race, so I do not believe he will be a successful candidate if he decides to run, um, despite appealing to more Latino voters down in that state of Florida. Now we have Nikki Haley here, who kind of torn between this. She has a. I don't think she'll run for president in 2024, just because if Trump runs for president, I believe a lot of these candidates are going to stay out of the way and let Trump go right through. That's what I believe will happen based off the like how much these individual politicians like Donald Trump. So Nikki Haley, she could run for president. Do I think she'll be successful? No, I don't think she'll be successful. That's no personal bias against Nikki Haley. I think she serves very well as her current gubernatorial governor's office, and as governor of the state she currently governs in. So I believe she'll probably run for re-election there and do fine there. So I'll probably place her at C tier. Now we got Jeb Bush. That's all I have to say about Jeb Bush. Um, so the next senator we have here, Rand Paul. He does great as a senator. I don't think he's a senator of Kentucky. I do not believe he's going to run for president just because of the fact people in Kentucky, he tends to have a very high favorability and very high approval rating down there in Kentucky. So I do not believe he will run for president. Now, if he did decide to run for president, would he be successful? Probably not, because I believe his skills serve better as being a senator than being president. So I'll probably put him in the C tier. Kanye West, I believe he kind of just ran last election cycle more as a meme, as a joke. So I don't believe he's going to run this year. Now we have Mike Pence, very controversial candidate among the GOP. Many consider him to be a rhino, if not more of a from the liberal wing of the Democratic Party, just because of his role in the election and how many believed he failed to do his role properly in the election. He is running for president, and he did announce his candidacy. So because of that, I'm going to now look at how successful do I think Mike Pence is going to be. I don't think he appeals to the Trump the Trump supporters of the Republican Party. I do believe because of the role he had in the election, I don't believe he appeals to a very large population of the Republican Party. I don't believe he'll be successful just based off the controversies and based off his current or his most recent or his recent events and capability. Not only, I don't know much about his senator history, but that's kind of not the point here. People more focus right now on his effects as vice president, which many believe he failed his job to serve the president correctly and well. And so because of that, I'm gonna place him probably in the D tier. I don't think he'll be successful. But I'm gonna put him up here because move Rand Paul down just because Rand Paul won't actually run and Mike Pence is running. Ron DeSantis of Florida, I think if he were to run, has a very high chance at winning. He's very liked down there in Florida, but it's because this is his first term down in Florida. I do not believe he will run for president. I believe if he's going to run for president, it'll be 2028 or somewhere further down the road. However, should he decide to run for president, I think he would be very successful if Trump doesn't run. If Trump runs, he will not run. So I'm going to have to place him in A tier for his capability at possibly being president. Now we have Dan Crenshaw. I don't know a whole lot about Dan Crenshaw, but I do know that he tends to be liked. I believe he's he's a senator rep from Montana, but I do not believe he will run. But if he were to run, I kind of believe he'd probably be up there with Ted Cruz, more or less, just because he generally is well liked among the general public. And Josh Hawley here is the last candidate we'll be talking about. I don't believe he's going to run for president. I think he serves his community and his state much better in the House of Reps or wherever in Congress he is. I think he's Senator or Reps, again, one of the two. I always forget. But if he were to run for president, he has made a pretty good impact in terms of and he is well liked by his state and by his community. But if you were to run for president, I think many more people see him as more of a congressman than they do a president. So I think taking all of that in mind, I'm gonna put him at the C tier. So that's probably where we're at. This is kind of what the tier list is looking like. So we have Donald Trump at S tier, we have DeSantis at A tier, Ted Cruz, Dan Crenshaw at B tier, Marco Rubio, Nikki Haley, Mike Pence, Josh Hawley in the C tier, and we got Christie Gnome, Jeb Bush, Kanye West, and Rand Paul in D tier. So Jeb Bush probably will run for president. Will he successful? I guarantee he was very unpopular during the 2016 presidential debate, so I do not believe he'll run in 2024. If he does, I don't think he stands a chance against Donald Trump. It's one of the big reasons he lost. Why he had no chance for the nomination was because of Donald Trump, because Donald Trump was such a big name in politics and really still is. So that's probably going to be the tier list. I will make a 2024 Democrat nominate possible 2024 candidates. So that's going to be the end of this video. If you guys did enjoy this video, I'd like to hear your comments or opinions in the comment section below. And thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next political video coming your guys' way.